Hi guys. So in this tutorial, I got asked to try and make a track in the style of Chris Stussy, Djoko. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. And this is what I've come up with. So basically, the style that these guys have, which is what I could hear, is quite a deep house sound, quite deep minimal house. So it's kind of a bit of a crossover, but I would probably say it's more deep house than anything else. The tempo's quite a fast tempo for house music at around about 125, 127. And it's quite a chunky style, but with very housey type percussion and hats on the top end. Bass lines are generally filtered down with that like skippy type bass line. Well, the groove is pretty much a skippy type of groove for this kind of music that these two guys make. And also with deep houses that you get a lot of filtered pads, organs, pianos and key type sounds. So they generally just play off each other, which is something that I've tried to do in this. So basically what I'll do is I'll just go through the usual stuff again like I did with the other video, and then I'll actually play the full track at the end, so you can hear what it sounds like. So with the kick drum, I started off with a different kick, but I then went into Ultra Beat. I wanted to try and use Ultra Beat this time because it's something that I don't really use in Logic. So I found this 8-bit kick. So it sounds a bit like this. It's got that chunky feeling, but I actually took I did a lot of EQing because I don't think it sounded quite right on its own. If I just take all this off, sorry, seems to be too much top on that. That kind of style that these guys go for, it doesn't seem to be that much top end on it. The little alter boy there is just changing the pitch just so it's in the same key, and then I put a little bit of overdrive on it. It's not actually doing that much, but it's just listen to it off and on. It's virtually doing nothing, to be honest, but at least it's giving it that extra bit of drive. And then the bass line sounds a bit like this. So when I was listening to his tracks, I figured out that I can't remember which track it was that I listened to, but it was like over 2 bars. So I made the bass line just to go over 2 bars, and I've obviously split it with a sub, so it sounds like this on its own. So like again, that's got that skippy type section here with these 2 notes, do 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 do, like that. And then it's kind of the same with some of these drums as well. So let's just listen to the drums on their own. It's like that skippy type with the snares. So I think some of these tops, I think they've got the skippy type snares on them. Yeah. And I just added them claps in to give it more of a housey feel, because on them loops on their own didn't sound that good. And then this little perk, I heard like I think it was a clave in one of the songs. In fact, let me just see if there's any crap at the bottom here. but altogether, it's got that like chunky feel to it, and then with the bass line as well. So there's them bits as well, and then so for synths and keys, throughout the track there is this it's like a filtered pad, I think. Let's just take a listen. And that's just 2 chords as well, and throughout the track, I think, yeah, just the automation on it just flows through, and I think with all excuse me, I think with all these synths, keys, pianos, organs, whatever, I just try to use the stuff that's in Logic as well. So this is an ES2 synth, and it's ambient mod wheel morpher. So I don't. Some of these didn't. Yeah, that came with it. I decided to put a bit of tremolo on just to help it pan left and right. If you see bus 3 on anything, it's going straight to a reverb. Decent size reverb there. So then there's also these 2 bits. So there's this electric piano and an actual piano, and I think what I did with the piano is I played it just before, just like on the offbeat. So when you play them together, ding ding, it's like a bit of a call and response. And then, as you can hear, the automation is coming in. More of the top end of the keys are coming in, like that. And then this section here, this is another keys that I use. I think it looks classic. And then this is giving it, like, this is the main melody in it, really. I think, and it sounds quite nice altogether. I also noticed that in one of his tracks, or well, one of their tracks, is that they panned it quite hard, either right or left, can't remember which way, so I did that with this one. And then later on, I decided to use, well, I used something a bit bizarre, which is a whistle. But it goes quite well, actually, with the drop. Well, with the breakdown, and then it leads into the drop, which sounds like this. Yep. So also in this main section here and the breakdown is I I copied this pad down and then just put it an octave up just to give it that brightness and to give it a bit more of a lift for the breakdown and the main section. And then this on its own is the same pad again, but it's just a held note just to give it some sort of atmosphere. And then I added a vocal in as well. There were more vocal shots than anything else, really. I think maybe an actual vocal would have probably been better, but just for this tutorial I just decided to just use a couple of shots, and these kind of do the same thing like a call and response. So if we just listen to this where the filter's all the way up. So yeah, I just decided to add them vocals in just for call and response, and that was something what they put in their tracks. And then near enough at the end, I decided to go through, add a couple of these snares, crashes, just fills, just to help signpost where things are, when things are coming in, etc. They actually really help the song. If you don't have them in, the actual track sounds a bit boring. But yeah, apart from that, that's pretty much it. Arrangement wise, one of the tracks, I think they had the pad at the beginning, and it seemed to be quite a long intro. So this build part one, that kind of is still the intro, so it's like a minute and a half of intro, and then there was a bass that would come in volume and then kick into the first section that they had. So I kind of did the same thing because I quite like that. And then this section here probably could be made a little bit longer. It's just that there's only a little bit of action there before the actual main one of the main melodies comes in there. And then with the break, I decided to filter down the drums, which you just heard before. That was my own like artist interpretation of what I wanted to do with this. And then it would just drop into straight kick on its own with the vocal. With the those like organ or key stabs filtered down. And then everything comes back in here, all the drums, and then there's the big like lift at the end, and then pretty much the outro, and then that's it really. So if I just play it from the beginning and then let you guys listen to it. I think if I did this again, I probably would change the vocal. I probably would put more of a vocal in it. Probably get a better kick drum than that, because that kick drum sounds okay. But personally, I probably would design a better kick drum. But yeah, apart from that, everything sounds okay. It sounds along that line. Set the vibe is very deep house, minimal. As if you'd listen to this. Personally, I would listen to this like on a beach, the sunset. That would be really nice. But whatever, that's me. You might not listen to it like in that way, but yeah. So I'm gonna shut the fuck up and let the track play for you. guys, that's it. Let me know what you think of the track. Does it sound like them? Does it not? Give us a like, share, follow, all that crap. And if you want me to cover any other artist, just let me know. Apart from that, peace out.